Here in 2021, the Lexus GX is still old. It's outdated. It gets terrible fuel economy. You can't really use it with a family larger than 4 people. And despite all of its shortcomings, we're gonna find out why it continues to sell so well here in 2021. Now, before we get into some of the market reasons why this vehicle is doing well, I'm gonna give you my highlights of this vehicle and why I would personally want to own a vehicle like this. You sit up really, really high. You can't say that for a lot of crossovers out there. This being a traditional body on frame truck-like SUV, you feel like you're in a pickup truck. You are in command of the road in a much, much better position than a lot of crossovers. And the visibility is incredible. Not only is it good looking straight forward, but these windows are just huge and you can see everything around you very, very well. It's also incredibly smooth. Now, a lot of us are familiar with Lexus Smooth, and the best-selling Lexus vehicle is the RX. I prefer the ride quality in the GX any day of the week. To me, it glides over the surface of the street a lot better. You feel like you're floating. And it's also, in my opinion, quieter. You have fatter, meatier, more off-road capable tires on this vehicle. Even though this has the large 19-inch wheels that came in the 2020 refresh, to me, they still provide an excellent, smooth, enjoyable driving experience. And the V8, as I accelerate, it is amazing. You don't see V8s, naturally aspirated V8s, hardly that much anymore. Lexus has 3 of them in their lineup, the 5-liter, the 5.7, this being the 4.6-liter, and it is always enjoyable. The downside is the fuel economy. I'm getting 13 miles per gallon. I'm rounding up, it's actually 12.9. I'm getting terrible fuel economy right now, but for a lot of you guys out there, it's totally worth it if you can tow with this vehicle and just get that buttery, smooth V8 experience. And like I said, it can give you the torque you need for towing. This thing can tow 6,500 pounds and it can off-road. This is one of the best off-roading vehicles in the world. Lexus knows that. They've shown concepts, the GXOR concepts with all sorts of off-roading aftermarket gear on it. They know people love this thing for off-roading, and the V8 and the suspension and just the overall kind of compact package of this body on frame SUV allows for that. Now, one thing they do need to improve is the brake pedal feel. The brakes are great, but man, the brake pedal, you have to push the brakes down about an inch before you feel the vehicle slow down at all. So you'd think that would be a simple fix, but I don't know, here we are 11 years later and it's the same old brake pedal. Now for some of the reasons that are not my own why this vehicle is doing well in today's market is the upgrade path. So Lexus was originally designed to be a brand for Toyota owners, Toyota fans, and consumers to upgrade into something nicer. Well, Toyota has the 4Runner, there's one just passing me right there, and that vehicle is just as old as this vehicle, but it's not nearly as smooth, as quiet, as sophisticated, as refined as this vehicle is, and it doesn't come with a V8. It hasn't come with a V8 in a long time. So the fact that this is a very, very, there's another 4Runner, logical upgrade to the 4Runner while still being in the Toyota family bodes well for the GX. And we know right now in the market, trucks, big SUVs, all crossovers, they're doing really, really well. And even though the GX has all those things going against it, it's still in the best market that it possibly can be for it to thrive. Now, I've talked about the V8, but I also believe that that's what a lot of people who buy this vehicle are drawn towards. Really, the only truck-based SUV with the V8 in the Lexus lineup is going to be the Land Cruiser or the LX, and those are going to set you back about, in some cases, double the price of the Lexus GX. So it has this strong, unique character to it that just continues to drive people to this vehicle. And we have to talk about the reliability. Lexus is generally known as being reliable. This probably being the most reliable vehicle in its lineup. It hasn't changed in forever. So I think people, even though they know they're going to get terrible fuel economy, they have that peace of mind knowing that they won't really need to do anything outside of oil changes on this for the most part. There is rumors that Lexus has greenlit a 3rd generation of the GX. First generation was my favorite, at least the body style of it. from 2003 to 2009 or so, and then we got this generation since 2010, and here we are in 2021. We got a refresh in 2014 and another one in 2020. I think it looks pretty good now, and it has all the safety features, but the GX is still far from being perfect. So what could a third generation do to improve upon the winning formula of the very well-rounded second generation? Well, better fuel economy is a start. Since we started recording, I've been able to get it from 12.9 to 13.1 miles per gallon. That's not good enough in today's day and age. So what are they going to do in a third generation to improve that? Well, I do think the V8's gone, unfortunately. So expect a turbocharged V6 or turbocharged 4-cylinder even. I know that sounds like heresy when I'm driving a beautifully naturally aspirated V8, but that's just the way of the world. And we know by 2025, every single Lexus vehicle is going to have at least a hybrid variant, if not a plug-in hybrid or a fully electric version. So as long as the powertrain still gives us over 300 horsepower like this does and over 320 pound-feet of torque while giving us better fuel economy, I think that's an improvement, but nothing's ever going to match the V8 in terms of feel and smoothness and arguably reliability as well. The technology in here needs to be upgraded. This screen hasn't changed what feels like since the mid-2000s. There's no Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, despite this vehicle's brother, the Land Cruiser Prado, just nearly identical to this vehicle without the V8, and other markets around the world that has the newer interactions with your phone that Lexus is just like, no, you don't really need that in your Lexus here in North America. So the technology is going to improve with the third generation. The hatch, the door, I should say, the door opens like a refrigerator door, and it's the widest refrigerator door you've ever seen. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't buy this vehicle because it's so inconvenient for people in parking lots, getting things out of their car, if it's strollers, etc. It is not user friendly for the vast majority of people. They need to get rid of that refrigerator door for a traditional hatch. Better yet, give us a split tailgate. That would be super cool, but the Land Cruiser and the LX are likely to get rid of that split tailgate in the next generation, so more likely we'll get a hatch with a third generation GX. And we need a more flexible second row. Like, this vehicle I would never consider with having all the small kids I have. It just doesn't work. There's not enough space. There's literally no cargo space for grocery shopping. I had to put all the things that we needed from our Target and Trader Joe's run in every single row of this vehicle. We maxed out the carrying capacity, so it doesn't make sense for families. Hopefully they make it a little bit more family friendly, giving us a more flexible second row. We can slide the seats around a little bit easier, having more cargo space in the very back with the seats up. So hopefully Lexus finds a way to make it a little bit more flexible of a package. I know there's only so much you can do with a body on frame structure and this sort of mid-size crossover SUV segment, but there's still room for improvement there. So who is this vehicle for in 2021? Well, if you have a 4Runner and you're getting sick of it, definitely consider the GX. If you want off-roading capability, if you want better visibility in your driving experience, if you want the feeling and power of a naturally aspirated V8 to get you around and just to have a nice, comforting and smooth experience, I mean, the GX is definitely not for families, I would say, unless you only have 1 or 2 kids. It's not for people who are commuting unless you want to spend a fortune on fuel. It's great the way it is as long as you can get over its shortcomings, its inflexible interior, its lack of interior cargo capacity, especially when people are loaded up, its poor fuel economy, its outdated infotainment. But outside of that, it's so good at being a truck. It's good at being a smooth, luxurious, comfortable experience. When will Lexus bring us a new GX? Well, assuming they bring us a new GX, gosh, maybe by 2024, 2025, it's still gonna be a while, and they're not gonna change this generation of GX any more than they did with that last refresh in 2020. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video today. It wasn't a typical review. I've reviewed the GX so many times on the channel before. I wanted to look at the great picture, the bigger picture, why it's selling in today's market despite its shortcomings. And guys, I'll see you in the comments below on how you think the Lexus GX can improve and what you would like to see in a third generation Lexus GX. Guys, Smash the like button, subscribe for more Japanese and Korean auto news. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.